Welcome, everybody, to Living with Your Thoughts podcast. I'm your host,
Tracy Moxey.
and as you can see, who is my divine guest today? I've been so excited to have Carmen on the podcast, and we're just going to have a lovely chat on her journey and where she's got to and how she's got to where she is, because it's all about the journey.
It is.
It's all about the journey. So, who is Carmen Rodrigues? For those of you that don't know, Carmen is a singer-songwriter and actually has just released her beautiful song Surprise. It's so catchy. That song is so catchy. It gets stuck in your brain. But just tell us, where's that got to now? On which radio stations and where are we sitting with it?
Oh, we're doing very well in Johannesburg. Karanda FM has been so good to me. I've hit their #1 South African charts. I got #1 on that, so that's awesome.
And so tell us the feeling that you get when
The feeling.
Is it hard to?
It's hard to explain because it's something that you've always dreamt of, where you write music, you kind of enjoy singing, and then you go, oh, you have these dreams and these ambitions to reach, and then when it gets there, it kind of like hits you. You're like, is it happening? It's actually happening, and then I just cry.
All that emotion.
I just cry. I can't control it. Crocodile tears happen. Mommy, my eyes in. I phone everybody that's close to me, video call, so I can see my own self like dealing and healing and feeling it, and just thank everybody under the sun. Like, it's just such an overwhelming, amazing feeling. And yeah, well there's so much more deeper things to it, but yeah.
Sure. Well, congratulations. That's tremendous. And like we said, we're going to go in today because it's that accomplishment is great and getting there and achieving that. But what does it take to get there? Yeah. And that's where I want to go today, just to give people inspiration and know that it's really about the journey and what we learn on the way, isn't it?
Yes.
So were you like in the kitchen with the wooden spoon singing? Is that the kind of thing that you were doing?
When I was started off when I was a little girl kind of vibes.
Yes. When did it? How did it?
It's actually quite interesting because I never thought I was a singer. I've always been a horse riding girl my whole life. I've got big dreams about going to Olympics for the dressage and like having this life and having a yard full of horses and just to love them and stuff. But it ended up being music. Horses are my first love, and music is obviously the second love. But it happened when my parents owned a quick spa.
Okay.
And we always lived above it because we're Portuguese and we do that. And we lived above the spa.
I also lived above it because I'm just saying.
So yeah, it was amazing and I loved it. And with the block of flats that we lived in, it came like a lot of people that lived in the flats, and we used to play outside at the back. And I was about 8 years old at the time. And between the ages of 8 and 11, I can't really remember, but at the time there was a guy that had a guitar and he used to take it and sit at the back, we all playing with balls and bouncing things everywhere. He was ding 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 ding, and I'd like sit and watch him. I go, that's really cool. And then as eventually I said to my dad, I want a guitar. This guy would give me a spare guitar and he would teach me how to play stuff. And he would be like, and I'd be like, ding dong, ding dong, ding ding. And then eventually I clicked on, and then my first song I learned was House of the Rising Sun, and then I sang it in my bedroom, and my dad was like, you really are good, Carmen. And I was like, oh, thanks, Dad. And he goes, we need to go for singing lessons. Like, no, horse riding lessons, Dad. Don't worry about the singing lessons. So that's kind of where it all started. It was like a really young age, and got my first guitar. And my brother and my father actually supported that, and they helped me buy it because I had to work for it and work behind the counters as typical Portuguese children do.
Earn your keep.
I remember 2 Coca-Cola crates standing over the counter. How can I help you? So I can have some cold meats. No problem. Would you like shoulder ham? Sandwich ham. Here we go. So I love people. I've grown up with that, so that's really helped with the career.
For sure.
But yeah, it really just started with me tinkling along on the guitar. And my best friend, her dad played guitar, and that's how I got to know House of the Rising Sun and things like that. And my repertoire, I don't even know. When I first started singing, I had no idea who Fleetwood Mac was. I was like, who's that? And I was like, woof, my friends, they were like, you don't know? And I was like, no, I don't know. Like, I didn't know. I just heard the radio playing in the spa, and that's all I knew.
Wow.
And I didn't know who that was or anything like that. So
you're quite young.
Yeah, very young.
6,
no, I would say about 8 years old.
8
and 11. I remember, throughout, we used to always be in the shop and help out where we could, and packing shelves and stock taking and helping customers and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's very young. I've started at a very young age with the people and understanding what people need, and helping them, serving and providing stuff. So yeah.
Yes, and in the background playing and just having mentorship. So never proper lessons. Did
No.
you just tinkered with him?
I played by ear, and
Okay.
I learned what I needed to, and I printed like a chart off that back then, or actually not back then. We didn't have
Yeah,
that.
we didn't have
Oh my
it.
gosh.
How far back are we
Oh
going?
no! Oh no! And so into the so I don't know. Oh, my friend's dad gave me a printout of the chords, and he's like, "That's how you look at them." I was like, "Oh," so I taught myself the chords, and very basic. I'm like more of a campfire guitarist, and there was one stage I was playing really well, but I put a lot of time into it, and I don't play in front of people. I get very nervous because I'm not as developed as I would like to have been, so I'm not going to put that on stage. And
Sure.
Yeah, one time I did, and I did very well with it.
So yes, okay. So that's how the journey all began.
Yes.
Okay, and then throughout. So now we're at school and going through school and still horse riding.
Still horse riding.
So horse riding was the main thing.
It was
That
like number
was the
one.
drive and
Yeah.
the passion was more horse riding.
Yeah.
And tinkering with the guitar and
Yeah.
playing on the sideline. And so when did you start having? What happened is in that, okay, music is actually coming more to the fore.
It was much later, I would say probably when I was 16, 17.
So nearly finishing school.
Finishing school, where I was playing guitar for my uncle's 40th at that time. I just played Happy Birthday. Okay. And his friend who was there said, "You've got a very good voice." And I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And then a year later, he asked, "Have you done anything with your voice?" And I was like, "No." He goes, and he started pushing. "You got to do something. And I was finishing matric and a whole bunch of stuff. And I went overseas. I came back. Anyway, long story short, it ended up being a journey of someone pushing me and asking me to do it. And he said, "I've got another girl that I've just met, and put you two together, and we're gonna do an album." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, I don't know. And I was so intimidated by her because I didn't know what harmonies were. I didn't know anything. I was like, whoa, all I wanted to do was ride.
So there's still the love hasn't come yet for the music.
No, and I enjoyed it, but it was just for me. It was fun for me to do, like a little something that I didn't know about. My family's not musical at all. Like at all. My mom's side she used to be a singer in a band with some boys, but that was it. And she had swallowed a fishbone and severed her vocal cord. So I didn't grow up with her singing at all. So she was much younger when she was singing. So it wasn't in the family at all. It didn't come from that. So the bug bit about professionally, I started singing 2010. So that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
It's more
yes,
or so.
yes. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
actually a bit more. Yeah, anyway, it was quite a long time ago, and professionally I've been singing now for going on 8 years, so making a living out of it.
Okay, yes. And so it was the passion. And so did you learn anything from that girl that he put you with? Did you learn from her? Did she inspire you?
That was a huge changing point because she made me realize I have work to do and I better go for lessons, and so I did. And we didn't know where to go, and I went to Mark Popard from the university, and he's an opera teacher, and I had to do these weird things like strawberry. I'm like, why am I saying strawberry? That makes no sense. And so I didn't gel with it, and I ended up with another lady, and then just from that, the first time my dad actually got to see me perform, and the last time he saw me perform, because he passed away just after that, it was a big showcase, and it was like a talent show that my vocal coach at the time said, "You got to do this." And I was like, okay. And the judge said, "Isn't she a professional?" And I was like, oh, no, I'm beginner. So anyway, so I won that, like that show. And then, yeah, I can carry on, sorry.
Yeah, no, the story's so interesting. But so there would have been the more of the bug biting then. It actually having that self-assurance or that confidence now that actually you are being recognized, and maybe there is something there that you have to offer.
There have been definite milestones in my life to say, for myself to see, oh, okay, I can sing. Not just my mom and my aunts and whatever, my family saying, yeah, you got a great voice. You got a very nice, or my dad at that point, you got a lovely voice. It was now strangers and winning something. I don't go into stuff to win it. I go because I love it.
Yes.
And I want to do it because it's a passion of mine.
It's not that competitive edge that you have. No. And Carmen, how important is that to actually, that self-belief when you do something?
You're your only person who's going to believe in you the most. If you have any doubt in yourself that you're going to not make it, you're not going to make it. you know. And if you go in there just enjoying it because you love it so much, that's been my magic wand to this whole thing, is just being yourself and loving what you do.
Because that comes through.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter about winning or being on radio or not, you know, if it's meant to be, it will be. You know, yeah, you have goals and dreams, and if you put everything into it and your passion, everything will, you know, something's got to come out of it.
I agree with that, Carmen. And that's when we're in a position where we're doing things that actually energize us, that don't drain us, and we get into that flow state. Because you must feel that when you're singing. You just, you know, you in like that. You don't think about anything else in the world when you're there, are you? And time just stands still, and that is flow, right? That is where we want to be, and we need to be doing something that we're passionate about, that brings out the best in us. And like you say, where it's not about, you're not thinking about the dollar signs, you're not thinking about the ego is not even on the stage, right? And that is a beautiful, beautiful place to be, because that is part of the journey. That is about every experience that you have, feeling that you know, most people don't get to feel that, Carmen, ever in their life.
It baffles my brain.
Yeah, because they don't chase their dreams, right? Wow. They don't chase what's important to them. They don't believe in themselves. They don't back themselves. So let's talk a little bit about, let's bring in now, Carmen, your relationship with fear.
Fear, actually, it's going to sound weird, but I enjoy fear, because without fear, it doesn't build you as a character. It doesn't give you the drive that you really want. So I always say, stare fear in the eyes and look at it and say, I'm not scared of you. Fear is a mental thing. Fear is like, it's a trigger from something else. So why am I fearful? Go down to your whys. My dad used to always say, why, Carmen? But why, Carmen? But Dad, what do you mean why? It's like, why do you feel like that? And that means so much to me. So I'm not scared of fear. I can be, if the situation is a gun against my head, I'm fearful of my life. But if it comes to fear being failure,
what is failure?
Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Failure is something that is there to show you that it's not the right time, or there's other doors, you know. Don't give up because of that. That's silly.
Yes, yeah, and the thing is for me, failure, well, I'm also a bit on your page, is that we push ourselves out of our comfort zone and we grow from, so that didn't work, so let's try something new. Not just go, okay, that didn't work, shut the whole thing down, you know, give up completely. So that pushing through that bit of fear makes us grow. It makes us stronger. It makes us achieve things that we never thought we could achieve, right?
No, never. And well, you dream of it, and if it does come true, then you're like, oh, that was cool. Yeah. That was, thank you, you know, like, that's awesome.
Yeah. And let's why you brought up dreaming, Carmen, a lot of people today don't have any hope. They don't have dreams, okay? They can't see into the future because they're possibly a bit shut down for what's going on in their lives or has been going on in their lives. So that hope is also important. Having that dream, having that possibility of just believing in something and trying to put yourself out there and go towards it. So did you, once you got into this bits and now, right, and you started to believe in yourself, what was your vision going forward?
My vision's always been one thing, is to, without getting all spiritual on it, it's more of like, music heals people. So my only vision has always been, my biggest why of why I do this is to heal people through music. So whatever I feel I'm channeling, singing, or my story I'm singing, or whatever, and the music that comes behind it, I just want to be like a Care Bear and just with everybody. So the vision I've had is to, no matter where I go, teaching, because I'm a vocal coach as well, so teaching, singing, or being on the stage, being in front of 2 people, or being in front of a massive audience with the rivers of people, which I want one day. That's the biggest goal, dream that I'd love to achieve. And if it's meant to be, amen, thank you. Because that Care Bear moment's going to be massive. I remember the Care Bears growing up.
Yes, I remember the Care Bears.
Yeah, I want that music note one, you know.
Yes. So Carmen on stage, as in just lifting everybody, lifting spirits,
Absolutely.
Bringing the hope. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And music does that at any concert. You just see these people, and that's what I want. But I want that, like, you just see people.
Yes, yes. So, Carmen, that brings in an interesting point of why you do what you do is to make a difference, right?
Huge.
I think the most successful people, they do something where it's not about them, where they actually give back, where they give to the world. And that's why you love...
I'd be happy, in a stable with gumboots on, sitting on a horse somewhere. That's my fulfillment as well for me. But why I'm here, I feel, is just I got this gift of a voice.
Yes.
Like, where did it come from? But this voice is there, and it can do what it needs to do on so many levels. I can't believe I can hit certain low notes and certain high notes. It's like, but that's
using your gift, using your gift to make a difference. And that's what we need to find, people. That's what we need. Find your gift. What are you good at? What can you share with the world? Where you feel fulfilled. Carmen feels fulfilled when she does. She feels in such a good place. And just sharing what she can share with everybody. That's so important, to think about finding those things.
And don't be scared.
So, Carmen, I know we've gone a little bit off track. So we've gone to have lessons now, and where are we now? So we're still like 10 years ago with our lessons starting.
Yeah.
Because your first hit was in 2018. Was that Waterfall?
Well, I've had a few before. That's when I met that girl, and remember that guy put us together, and we wrote a song. Our little album was called Corrida. It was so cute. And Corrida actually in Portuguese means like, come and give you love, come, da querida, come, come and give you love. It was so special. Like the girl that was writing this, she is incredible. Like, her songwriting skills were like top notch. She could go in there and do all her songs, and we wrote songs together. I wrote about my grand passing. I wrote about a couple of things that are very emotional, like my own personal experiences, which I still do today. And that was kind of the first writing. So I would say like more those 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
You actually started writing your own songs.
Yeah. And I released a song. I did like a first music video. It's so sweet. It's all started back then. It was a real bite. And then I just saw it. And I've never been that kind of person, just want something. I'm more like, chilled about everything besides the writing. I knew exactly what I wanted. I know what I wanted to do with it. And with the music, it happened the same. So I locked into it, and it fell apart, the band. I wanted to go for it full time, and she wanted to do a teaching degree and, find a job as a teacher. And I was like, but you're going to waste all your talent, like, don't. I love her, respect her so much, but my journey was then opened up, and off I went, and I wrote more and just kept putting little songs out and seeing where it went. And only now has it actually gone to radio for the first time. So
there in case in point, how long things take is don't give up, because it can be overnight, right? And it can be the journey and what you've learned on the steps in these years that have gone by and who you are now. And do you feel that where you are now, the things that you've learned and got to this place, you're now more equipped to handle what you have to handle? So it's all about timing.
Absolutely. And actually, the song that I've written for this album now one of the songs is called Just in Time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was so angry with the word time. I was so angry. I was like, when's it going to happen? I'm tired of this now. How many years do you have to keep putting in? And you get I got those angry stages, and you're human, but then you kind of go, but you are still doing it. So what's the point? What's the problem? You're in it. You're living your dream. You're doing it every day. Your purpose is to heal through music. You're doing it. If this is meant to be, let it go.
Trust the process. So that's another point in terms of some people who are visionaries that really have a vision. They can't wait for that time for to actually realize their vision. And that's where the patience comes in, is you put it out there. You do those little steps every day that you do, right? You show up and you do gigs, and you do gig after gig, and you put yourself out there, and you write your songs, and it's those little action steps that eventually get you to where you are in the top 40 of the music charts. I mean, but it takes time and effort, and it's that, and that's what people don't realize, is that is the journey. That is where we learn about ourselves. So can you share some things that you've learned about yourself along this way? One or two things.
You are enough. And trust the journey is a big one. I have always been such a loving, kind, caring person, and that is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's sometimes led me to wrong relationships and people taken advantage of that, but it's made me stronger today. Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Girl,
yes,
did I have to learn about boundaries.
Yes.
Boundaries.
Especially if you're very loving and caring.
And that was hard because I am so, So there's so many good things. I mean, I'm almost 40, and I think by this age, people say that you kind of know who you are by now. And if you're not, that's also okay.
Yes.
It's really okay. Some people find it quicker, some people don't. Yeah, I think
The sooner we put our boundaries in, the quicker we find ourselves, guys. The sooner we put our boundaries up, the quicker we know who we are, right? Our boundaries and our values, very
huge.
important.
So there's some positive and negatives about when you about knowing who you are, and you should be comfortable with that. The negative side is not a bad thing. And to you, it's like, but to other people, it's like, really? You actually wouldn't see it as a negative. So got to be careful how your mind talks.
Yes, that inner critic that loves
and go with
to.
your gut.
Yes.
Go with your gut. Your gut is always right.
Yes, that intuition, hey? That I think as human beings we're drifting further and further apart and away from. But yes, it's very important to listen to that. Some people have a much stronger intuition, but we all capable of it. And just go with your gut at times, definitely. Great, Carmen. So I just want to make sure that we've covered where you got to in your writing your songs, and is that the progression since then now, is your gigs and doing step by step everything that you do? Who organizes all your gigs? Do you do that yourself?
I've been doing it.
You do it yourself,
for a while,
okay?
Yeah, I'm still learning so much, so
I think when we think we know it all, that's the end of our life, actually, because we never know it all.
You never know it all.
And yes, it's that, it's that confidence. Not everyone's our tribe, so not everyone is going to agree with us and what we do, and that's okay. But when you stand in your truth, Carmen, when you are being authentically you and you're not pretending to be anybody else, that is a waste of time, number one. But you don't get anywhere, right? And you live with this imposter syndrome or whatever comes up. It's be you, because that's where your beauty is going to shine through. You are unique in what you do, and watching you perform, you are unique in your style and your everything about you, and there is no one else like you. There's no other Carmen on the planet that can do what you do, that can sing the way you sing and write the way you, because you've mastered your gifts, and you've put everything in, and you've gone through the journey. And that's what we've got to remember, that we are so unique. There really is no one else like us on the planet. So that's one thing that we can leave with you today. Believe in yourself. Carmen, what's the worst advice you've ever been given in your industry?
I'm trying to figure out which one to tell you, but the one that keeps jumping out at me was someone very, very close to me said, give it 5 years and then do something else.
Okay.
That's probably the worst advice I've ever been given. Because,
in this very hard industry.
Yeah, and literally a week ago, that same person said to me, oh, you must be very proud of the fact that you pushed through. And I was like, I needed to hear that from you, because you were that person, the only person that was so close to me that said, give it 5 years and then try something else. You didn't believe in me, and I was like, okay, I'll show you.
Yeah, and again, Carmen, that belief you had in yourself overrid all of that. Imagine if it hadn't, where would you be now? What path would you have taken? That's excellent. Thank you for sharing that, Ross. What advice would you give someone that would be interested in pursuing your career?
Don't stop believing. Oh, it sounds like the journey. This song. Don't stop believing. Yeah, hold on to that feeling. Listen to the lyrics of Journey, the song Journey, by Journey. Don't stop believing. It's exactly that. It's, if you want this, give it everything you have. You have to sacrifice, relationships. You have to sacrifice so much. People's weddings. Birthday parties. I've missed so many things, but my family understands and they support what I do, and they will video call me at the place, or I got major FOMO disease, so fear of missing out. Yeah. So especially when it comes to my loved ones. Yeah, have a balance. Try not burn out too much. Or work on your repertoire. Work on stuff that you enjoy singing, and then build from there. Don't just go into it saying, oh, I like these songs and this is what I'm going to sing. You've got to, if you're going to cater to an audience, cater for the audience. It's about them at the end of the day. Also, it's about you at the end of the day too. So it's that balance. You've got to be that fine balance and being confident with opening your mouth and delivering. Do lessons, ask for help. Come and set up my gear with me. pitch up at my gigs and say, I want to help. How can I help? Learn from me. I'm that one person on this planet that wants to help, you know, that I know of from the deepest part. I can't talk for anyone else, but I know that I want to help. I know that I want to be there to say, come, you can do this. You might not be able to sing at my gigs because the clients obviously booked me, but be there to set up, be there to learn all the ropes. Yeah, I'll teach you, look at the crowd, what song would you sing, you know, and don't be scared to be you, authentically you.
Carmen, that's lovely, guys. You hear that? If you're interested, come and learn, come and take in information. That's how you got to sacrifice, you know, when you like you say, have the balance, but there's going to be sacrifice because we have to say no to some things to get what we want to. So keep that balance. What trait do you admire most in people?
The kindness. I love kindness. I love kindness. I think it's so important to be kind. I love that. I can't think of anything else right now, just kindness.
Well, with kindness, there'll be no judgment, Carl. You'll be able to put yourself in other people's shoes, right? That empathetic side. Lovely.
Yeah. And I love the fact that people they believe in themselves. I love that. I love them because I mean I know what it's taken. Exactly. I know what it's taken to be. I've lost my dad. I've lost loved ones. You know, people have passed away, and I know what pain is like. I've felt it. I've lived it, like most of us have. So just be authentically you, but be kind. Just be kind.
Lovely piece of advice. Okay. What have you said no to in the past year? Talking about balance and
so much actually. This is probably the good year to say I said no to a lot. I said no to the wrong relationship, a lot of no's, no to eating bad for myself. My eating patterns were shocking because of the lifestyle I live. I would wake up when I wanted to wake up because we had a late night last night, you know, with gigging or whatever. And I'll just grab whatever I felt like eating. And in a gigs, you would eat, because I'm vegetarian at that stage, you could only really eat pizzas and, you know, whatever the restaurants would have. So I was just and I'll just go, drive there, do this one, And I just was killing myself. So I had to learn to say no to food. I've become vegan to clean out my whole system. It's been absolutely life-changing for me. So yeah, I've said a no to a lot of stuff that was very comforting. Being at the spa days with my parents having the spa, we used to go to the spa anytime, just pick what you wanted. I mean, what would you like? Have whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to that holistic part of our life where everything in balance. You've got to think about your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. You've got to keep the balance. And, you know, health and well-being is my top value because we are nothing without our health. So we've got to have that balance. So,
and that's actually where Surprise, my new song, came from. It's Surprise. All you have to do is love yourself.
Yes.
And there's a part in the song that talks about my smoothies, really, that changed my life because I do like three of these smoothies a day. And it goes, ooh, so delicious.
Yeah, that's where that.
And then love's so nutritious for you, really, because you learn to love yourself through eating better and saying no to all the stuff that you really want to.
Oh, wow.
I fight with it often. I fight with the no. And
Sure. We're human. Like you say, we're human. We have needs, we have urges, of course. And we do go off track.
Yes.
We don't stay on track or every day, every week. We go off the rails.
I've been good for a while.
Yeah.
These last 2 weeks, I'm like, it's cold. It's getting winter.
But it's how quick do we get back on?
Yeah.
That for me is important. And then let's ask you one last question. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
I love everything. That's the hard one. Okay. It's very difficult, even with recording my own songs with this amazing new producer. He has been absolutely fantastic for me. Daniel Barron from Hit Kitchen Studios. If you ever want a good producer, he's a great guy. Based in Joburg. He was epic with me because I'm so diverse with my repertoire of when I sing to the crowds and stuff. I'm also quite a chameleon with people. I can sit with anybody and have a conversation. And I said to him, I don't know what my sound is, but I know what my sound is, but I don't know what my sound is. He's like, don't worry, that's my specialty. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And the sound that's come out is exactly who I am. Wow. So surprise. Yeah. And there's quite a few stories in there. The album is called Stay Ready. So that's where I'm at. I'm staying ready because I'm so excited for the big things coming my way.
Absolutely, that you've worked so hard for, right?
And that I'm saying because it's a positive affirmation I'm putting out. So it's not because I know exactly what's coming. Some little things I know, but I know the big things are coming because I want to heal that Care Bear moment with those rivers of people.
Yes, and what in the universe is going to stop that, Carmen?
Exactly.
Like, you know, we need that. We need more people to give what they are so good at to the world. I firmly believe. Well, Carmen, this has been such fun, and
Thank you.
and my listeners and viewers, we want to wish you everything of the best. We love your new. I don't know if you haven't heard the song Surprise, but you better go and listen to it. We love your music, and you're so inspirational, and it's been so nice just chatting with you, and just having a touch in your life of what you've been through and how you've got to where. And like you say, you never give up. Mm-hmm. You keep going. You make your life count, and as you go through the journey, you learn.
Yeah.
Super. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
This has been wild. Take care, everybody. Till next time.
Bye.